Hello Aries, welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me for your August 2023 Tarotscope. It is my absolute pleasure and such a blessing to be here with you. So thank you for sharing your time, your energy, your attention, and of course your company with me. In the description box below, you will find links to all sorts of goodies. You will also find a timestamp if you would like to jump to the start of your reading. Please do keep in mind that this is a general reading, not a personal reading, so only take what resonates with you and leave the rest. We are going to be looking at how you grew in July 2023, what truth you are ready to have revealed to you now, how this truth will challenge you, how this truth will bless you, and the guidance that will best support your evolution this month. So let's dive right in. Father, Mother, Life, Universe, Spirits, Guides, Angels, our cosmic team, our ancestors, our higher selves. How did Aries grow in July 2023, please? How did Aries grow in July? Okay, thank you. What truth is Aries ready to have revealed to them, please? That's too much. Nice, clear message, please. What truth is Aries ready to have revealed to them, please? Thank you. How will this truth challenge Aries? How will this truth challenge Aries, please? How will this truth challenge Aries? Okay, so Aries, I do feel like this truth may, thank you, may challenge you because I feel like it's going to ask you to open up, right? I feel like it's going to ask you to see the truth for what it is, to acknowledge it, to allow yourself to bear witness to it, to, yeah, it just really feels like it's going to ask you to open up in a way that maybe you haven't before. How will this truth bless Aries, please? I feel like it's these here. Can we please have some clarity? Tell us more about how Aries grew last month. It's too many. Nice, clear message, please. Tell us more about how Aries grew, and thank you. And how would we like to? Okay. Tell us more, please, about the truth Aries is ready to have revealed to them. Tell us more, please, about the truth that Aries is ready to have revealed to them. Okay, thank you. Tell us more, please, about how this will challenge Aries. Tell us more about how this truth will challenge Aries, please. Thank you. Tell us more, please, about how this will bless Aries. How will this truth bless Aries? Tell us more, please. Okay, and how, okay. What guidance will best support Aries in their evolution? 4:44 on the timer. What guidance? Thank you. Okay, let's jump in. So Aries, how did you grow last month? We do have the law of nature, reconnect with Mother Earth. This is very interesting. I do feel like for some of you, there's this energy of you could have perhaps been very focused prior to July on certain tasks. Sorry, guys, I just kicked the camera. On certain tasks, on certain goals, certain ambitions, certain things that you were striving to reach or accomplish, or maybe you had certain obligations or demands or something that maybe prevented you from really sinking in to nature or being outside. I'm also getting this energy of maybe being a bit ungrounded, right? It just feels like for some of you, you could have been very heavily focused on very physical or material ambitions or goals. And I feel that during the month of July, you may have been called to be more grounded, to get out in nature more, to experience the outer world. And but it's interesting. I want to be very clear. It feels as though spending this time with nature or reconnecting with nature um, took you from being very focused on external or physical material type things and brought you back inward. It's almost as if the things that you were doing previously may have been distracting you from the quiet, right? Which all of that noise doesn't allow for us to hear our own internal voice, our own intuition, right? So it feels as though you may have grown in July getting out in nature and being able to not only reconnect with the earth, but also being able to hear yourself again, or maybe for the first time, being able to connect with your intuition, that own inner wisdom, that own inner knowing, right? Which is interesting because it feels as though, again, some of the things that you may have been doing previously were what we might say are surface level, right? This, I feel, July may have asked you to come back to self, to focus more inward, to get outside, get away from the noise of the world, and reconnect on a more spiritual level, to reconnect more deeply with your emotions, with how you feel, with your intuition, these sorts of things. It's very, very interesting. And I do feel for some of you, taking this time out, if you will, and getting into nature, reconnecting, seeing yourself as a part of nature, I feel like you may have gained a lot of wisdom in that, right? You may have gained higher perspectives about certain things. Um, yeah, it feels as though there's been this maybe reconnection to more of that divine feminine or that feminine energy. Now, whether you're male or female is irrelevant. It's more about the energy, right? So that feminine energy is more spiritual, it is more heart centered, it is more feeling. And it seems to me that you may have grown in those areas throughout July by reconnecting with nature, by kind of getting away from the noise, getting more in touch with yourself, and experiencing things on a more deeper level. So, okay, this is interesting. We're going to start here. To clarify, we do have the Page of Pentacles showing up here, which this is pretty interesting, right? Because I do feel that, first of all, Pentacles showing up is earth energy. It is nature, okay? And if you look at this card here, if you can see it, she is rooted. She's not even standing on the ground. There's actually a root here that's wrapped around her foot. So, I do feel like again, this energy has, or the past month has grounded you more into your nature, more into the truth of who you are. But again, coming back to the Page of Pentacles, there is this energy of learning how to trust yourself. It's very interesting. Again, I feel like for some of you, you could have fallen out of touch, if you will, with your own internal guidance system, your intuition. And I feel that this may have brought you back to that, and it might have grounded you into this more trusting, or this ability to trust yourself more, to trust what that internal guidance system is sharing with you. For some of you, I also feel that this could have it feels like it could have potentially, how would you say, delivered to you like this message of, like, the way I'm seeing is kind of like a compass, right? That's the picture I'm being shown in my head. Because I feel like it's kind of, it's put you back on track. Again, for some of you, I feel like you got disconnected, and maybe that comes from experiencing these cycles, right? Oftentimes we see ourselves as separate from nature, but in truth, we are nature. And just as in nature, we are cyclic, right? We have periods of death and rebirth, and we experience death and rebirth all around us constantly, whether it's the changing of the seasons, whether it is, like the sun dying and the moon being born, and then, that cycle, or whether it is us experiencing, let's say, the death of a relationship, the rebirth or the birth of another, certain things like this, right? We experience these cycles all the time. And I feel for some of you, maybe you experienced one of those cycles, and it like puts you on this, almost this distraction path. Now, that's not to say that you focusing on your goals is like a bad thing, right? But when you are hyper focused on the material world, the physical world, we lose sight of some of the deeper aspects of ourselves, and we neglect some of those areas, and we can fall out of balance. So I feel that, for some of you, it's kind of brought you back and is guiding you to a path, or has put you on a path that is more in alignment with that balance. So we also have here the Devil, which is fascinating because this is that material focus, right? Oftentimes the Devil can be seen as this energy of obsession, or this hyper focus on material wealth or material things, right? And I feel that this, it's just showing up here to say, like, that this has been something that has been kind of pulling the strings, right? So I do feel like this could have become apparent to you in one way or another. Maybe it wasn't so black and white, right? Maybe it wasn't so, hey, your ego's pulling the strings, hey, your attachment to the material world and these things are pulling the strings. But it does feel that there could have been this realization of, wow, I've been really, really focused on these things and not giving back to myself, or not paying attention to myself or what I feel, right? So again, I do feel that you grew last month by becoming more aware of your ego, of your attachment, let's say, to the physical or material world. It's very fascinating. But, I feel like if you resonate with this and you've had the opportunity to get out in nature, I feel like you are likely to be more grounded. now, right? Maybe not so focused on that material side of things. So, what truth are you ready to have revealed to you now? We have the law of growth. Be steadfast in your faith and stay the course. So, what I find interesting is in both of these cards here, you do have these birds, which I believe they look like owls to me. Um, and I feel that this has given you a higher perspective. Like, I feel like with that higher perspective, it's like you're ready to see things differently. You are ready to gain this more observant way of being, right? To be more aware and perceptive of the things that are going on within you and around you. I do feel that part of the truth that you are ready to have revealed to you is that this growth, spiritual growth especially, takes time and effort and hard work. Okay? Anybody who tells you that this is an easy path is lying to you. Okay? I'm just going to be honest here. And so I do feel that though this can be a hard pill to swallow, there is this message of you being ready to acknowledge the fact that evolving and growing in a way that is outside of the societal norms, right? Being more focused on your spirituality, perhaps your spiritual evolution, getting more into balance, learning the depths of yourself. I feel like you are in a space where you are ready to understand and be aware that this is a journey of faith. This is a journey of staying focused. This is a journey of inner strength, of, standing strong in your convictions, right? It's really interesting. 1717 on the clock just a moment ago. And the number 17 is really about being exactly where you need to be. Okay? It is also, if we break it down, right, ones are about the beginning, new beginnings, potentials, opportunities. Sevens are about faith, but they're also about that introspection, that reevaluation of things, or the reflection of things, right? So again, I feel that you are exactly where you need to be. You are in this space where there is all of this potential, but having faith and really evaluating yourself and what it is you are focused on is going to be that truth that you are ready to really embody and really understand, or at least give yourself the opportunity to understand it more deeply. To clarify, wow, look at that, 8 of Pentacles. Yes. So it's very interesting because, of course, 17, when we break that down, it's 8. And 8 is the number of mastery. It is also a number of rebirth and changes, right? But here on the 8 of Pentacles, there's the moon phases. So again, this is something that takes effort. This is something that takes diligence. It is something that you have to be passionate about it. Right? Because if you're not passionate about your growth, if you don't have faith in it, if you are not diligent, if you're not willing to put the work in, just like anything else, you're not going to get anywhere. Right? And if you see, again, there's the moon phases indicating that to become the master, you have to be willing to put in the time, the work. You have to be willing to give yourself the space to be able to grow, to learn. And she has, a lot of books here. She's got what appear to be maybe different herbs or plants, candles, writing material, things like this. So it's, really, how would you say, immersing yourself in your own growth. Again, being very focused, staying the course. Okay, so I do feel that if you have not already wrapped your head around this, the month of August is going to bring this truth forward. It is going to reveal it to you. It is going to show you, hey, you can't get anywhere if you are not, again, very dedicated and diligent and passionate about your own growth. It's beautiful, by the way. It's absolutely beautiful because, Aries, you do have that, how would you say, that drive, right? That ambition within you to be able to do it. It's just about remaining focused and keeping your faith strong, right? And not maybe being impulsive or getting angry when things aren't showing up or appearing the way that you think they should. So how will this challenge you? The law of abundance, open your mind to your prosperous nature. So I feel that part of the challenge here is, again, how would I say this? Okay, so there are certain actions, if you will, that need to be taken, right? There's a certain structure to spiritual growth, but it's much different than how we see things in the physical world, right? So from a physical materialistic standpoint, in order to achieve something, you have to be doing something, like physically doing something. And though that can be very applicable towards our spiritual journey as well and achieving those goals, there are a lot of times that we are called to be still. And that can be very difficult. I mean, you are a fire energy, you are an action or an active energy, right? So that can be very difficult and challenging for us. So I do feel like the biggest part of this challenge for you, Aries, is to overcome the mountain that is your own mind, especially when it comes to the beliefs you have, some of the programming that maybe you have, or maybe some kind of patterns that you have, and opening your mind to the understanding that the spiritual journey is much different, right? The healing journey is much different, and abundance shows up much differently. Okay, I'm going to read for you from the guidebook here, just to give us a better perspective on how this will challenge you, or to give us some more depth, other than what's coming through intuitively. So let's see here. Number 21. Okay. So it says, the spiritual truth is that the very essence of who you are is abundance. By drawing this card, your higher self desires for you to awaken to your infinite potential and innovation. Let go of any scarcity mentality. Release any perception you have about the circumstances of your life as a problem. You will unveil the power within by shifting your mind to viewing it as an opportunity. The universe is ready to pour wealth unto you now. Open your mind and practice receiving. Right? So it's a very interesting challenge to overcome. I mean, there's been a lot of programming around scarcity, around not being enough, not having enough, right? What do we have here? 7 of Pentacles showing up. So a part of that challenge is being patient. And here's that a number 7 again, or that 7 energy coming through again, which faith, right? So I do feel like having that faith and waiting for let's say results is likely to be a challenge for you, or could be a challenge for you. I'm getting fear coming up as well, because I feel that there's this idea or this belief that if there's nothing tangible for you to grasp, then there's nothing happening. And again, in spirituality, that's simply not the truth, right? But this 7 of Pentacles energy is it's interesting. How do I say this? Because it's like this energy again of needing patience, right? Like you don't cancel your Amazon order because it didn't show up 5 seconds after you ordered, right? This is about planting those seeds and waiting for them to grow, nurturing them, giving that dedication, that time, having faith that you're doing the right things. And with this, again, with it showing up in the reverse, there is this energy of like, you could, the challenge could be getting distracted. The challenge could be struggling to have that patience to nurture what you've planted. The struggle can be, how would you say, it's not working without reward, but essentially it's like, again, if you plant something, right, the reward doesn't come until you see it up out of the ground, but that doesn't mean you stop nurturing it. Do you see what I hope that makes sense? So that could be the challenge for you, is still working at something though you again have nothing tangible to hold. Okay? Yeah, we also have the Empress in the reverse, which is very interesting, right? Because the Empress, as you can see, she has this big pregnant belly. She's very fertile. Um, and it's like, how do you say? Again, it's this energy of the challenge being not digging up what you're growing, right? It's because here's the thing, like, I'm getting this energy of like that hovering mother. And so for example, if you plant something and you're always looking, you're always digging it up to see what's happening, like nothing's going to happen. It's not going to grow, right? So it is giving these things, this work you're doing, the opportunity to develop, right? To kind of be in that womb. Okay? And again, I feel like that is your challenge, is letting these things happen, right? Letting things grow, nurturing these things, not smothering it, not digging it up, not getting distracted, even though you're not seeing the results of your efforts right there, right now. Okay? So, how will this bless you? The law of destiny. It's written in the stars, what you wholeheartedly desire is your destiny. So, here's the thing. I'm just going to be honest. Looking at this picture, she is walking away from that big city. And if you can tell, she has this light in her hand. And this, for me, is that energy of leaving behind that noise, following your own light, not getting distracted, right? Walking away from the things that distract you or create a lot of noise in your experience. Now, I don't mean noise in the sense of like banging, clanging, music, talking, blah, 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 though that is also true. It's more of those distracting things, right? Noise being, I'm hyper focused on my work, I'm watching TV, I'm, you know, drinking beer, or whatever the story, right? It's not being distracted. And I feel that it may feel odd or lonely or isolating or something, but I feel that actually separating yourself from the noise again is going to bless you, because it's going to show you your own light. It is going to open your path to you. It's going to lead the way, right? And that in itself is a blessing, certainly. I do want to read. Oh, I literally just opened it up to the page that fast. That's wild. Um, so it says, remember, how will this bless you? By drawing this card, your soul is ready to let go of confusion and get clarity. The universe has been taking your order. However, you have been sending mixed messages. Your current experience is the sum total of your thoughts, so choose them carefully. You have a unique life designed with absolute precision for you. You must end looking to the world for guidance and begin to seek the truth within. Your divine wheel of fortune awaits, right? So, again, I feel like this is going to bless you by giving you that clarity, right? Aligning you with that path, with your truth, okay? We also have the law of creation. Focus your mind to create your deepest desire. Yes. Right. So again, this is another energy of gaining that clarity and focusing on what it is you really want versus sending out those mixed messages. Because again, the universe is taking your order, right? But it doesn't speak English, it speaks energy. And if you are like, this is what I want, but I'm focused way over here, you're giving mixed messages. Your energy isn't aligning, right? So I do feel that part of how this will bless you, again, is allowing you to get that clarity so that you can actually focus on what it is you want to create. And thereby bring in more of the abundance that you want to experience. Now, perhaps you're like, okay, I'm good financially, or I'm good, in that realm of things. I'm good, let's say, physically, right? But perhaps where you are desiring more abundance is, let's say, in deeper understanding of yourself. Or maybe you're desiring more intimate connections. Maybe you're desiring to hear your intuition. Maybe you're desiring to feel things more, to experience love or relationships, things like this. Okay, so it's getting focused and, well, gaining clarity and getting focused on what it is you truly, truly want. And I feel that's the blessing, so that you can start to create that for yourself. To clarify, we have Temperance, bringing more balance. I feel like a big part of this blessing, or how this will bless you, is to bring more balance into your experience. I feel like it can also help to grow your patience. Okay. And I love that, because I feel, sometimes, I mean, I have a little Aries of my own, and though I love him to pieces, he can be so friggin' impatient, it's almost maddening sometimes, right? So I do feel that this whole experience, the unfolding of all of this, is likely to bless you with more patience. It's likely to help you to be more grounded, right? To bring more balance and more harmony within you. I also feel like for some of you, this could help you to find meaning in your life, right? To bring, like I was saying, kind of bring more depth into your experience, because things have felt surface level, right? And maybe unfulfilling. It's very interesting how that works, right? We can do so many things to bring in this physical world satisfaction, but still feel very unfulfilled. And oftentimes that's because there's more of that need to focus inwardly and to align with what it is we truly desire from a soul, from our heart, from our soul, versus what the world and society tells us we should desire. Okay? Super fascinating. So, what guidance will best support your evolution, Aries? You have mirror, who or what is triggering you. So, it's very fascinating. There is this energy here with this mirror of if you are impatient, if you feel that because you don't have something tangible to show for your efforts and aren't feeling like that's good enough, feeling like you're not good enough, feeling like you should be doing more, feeling like, how would I say, like you're not achieving anything or something like that, and you're growing impatient, you're growing restless, you're becoming angry. Why? Why is that? Right? Why do you have that reaction? Diving deep into that, getting to the root of that, right? And maybe, at the very core, it's like, I don't feel like enough. Well, why? What has happened in your past where you didn't feel like enough that maybe you have not yet dealt with, that you may have not healed or addressed? And boldly and fearlessly allowing yourself to deal with that and to ultimately heal it by releasing it. Okay? So, I do feel like examining and taking inventory, if you will, of who or what is triggering you, causing you to be reactive. I feel like that is going to best support your evolution. Okay? And certainly, the triggers tell you where you need to be paying attention to things, where you need to heal. Okay, so certainly figuring out what those things are for you is going to support your evolution overall, regardless. We also have awakening, energetic upgrades, a new way of being. Yes, integration. Right? So, it's interesting. There's this energy of allowing. Okay. And with integration, it is bringing these things that you're learning through your being, embodying them. Okay. Allowing yourself to change, allowing who you thought you were to change. This can be very, very difficult, especially if we've spent a vast amount of time. Let's say, you had a certain career path, you chose it, you dedicated yourself to it, you spent 15 years perfecting your craft, and now it's like, actually, that's not what I want to do. Wait a minute, I have to start over? That can be incredibly triggering. That can be incredibly scary. It can be very overwhelming, right? It can bring up tons and tons of fear. So, being open, to this new way of being and allowing it to unfold, I feel is going to help to support your evolution, recognizing that you are awakening to a different version of yourself. Again, this like death and rebirth energy, right? That cyclic energy. Being aware of that, being aware that you yourself are part of nature and are also cyclic and do go through periods where we are part of something and then we're not, right? So again, I feel like the guidance that's going to best support your evolution as far as this awakening card is concerned is by letting yourself experience something different. Allow yourself a new way of being, a new path, right? Allowing yourself to bring through you what you know to be true. And being passionate about that, right? If you're incredibly passionate about your growth, about experiencing things differently, people in the spiritual world, it is said over and over and over again in many, many different ways that we have to be willing to let certain aspects of ourselves die. We have to let ourselves die. We have to kill ourselves off in order to be everything we want, or everything we feel is true for us, or to experience what we truly desire. And I feel like that is what is coming through here for you. So it seems though as though August could be an incredibly transformative month for you, or at least the an incredibly powerful start to this spiritual evolution, or this chapter of your spiritual evolution that seems to be taking place. I pray that this is helpful for you. I pray that it brings some kind of guidance or value into your experience. If this has resonated with you, please do the YouTube things by liking, sharing, subscribing, or commenting below. It really does help the channel to grow, and I truly, truly appreciate you doing so. Again, thank you so very much for being here with me. Have an incredible, incredible month. Take care of your growing, evolving, powerful, abundant soul. Peace be with you and within you. And I hope to see you again on the next one. Bye.